To be that person that your partner can't do without. To be that man or woman your partner can't stop thinking about. Then you need to understand that you have to be that person's soulmate. It also means you have some clear qualities and attributes that cannot be overlooked by your spouse. Everyone has qualities and attributes and character they all want to see in their partner. When they find that in you and believe you are the one, they genuinely become interested in you and will do anything to love you and make you happy because you meet up to the standard of what they want. It is often said that no man is indispensable. This means there will be always someone like you. Our God is the only one who is indispensable. He does what pleases him. He is seated on his throne and makes the earth his footstool. There is none like our God. Although we know every human is dispensable, you still have to do something that makes you stand apart. Every man has his unique character and trait, and no one is the same. Even two identical twins can never have the same characteristic or attribute. This is why it is left to us as Christians to stand out in this world and not conform to the things of the world. They are all ephemeral. As long as you do things that make you different in a godly way, your God-ordained spouse will find you and will do all that it entails to love you. As long as you play a role either as a good, loving and caring husband or a nice, dutiful and submissive wife, then you become someone your husband or wife cannot stop thinking about. Your attribute and character would give them an all-round peace and they won't be able to stop thinking about you. This is why you need to be that spouse that stands out. It is even possible that before you get married or start a relationship, you stand out among many of the potential suitors or bride, as the case may be. It is more likely that a spouse will go for someone who fits into his or her life. Before you know it, you would have a long line of people who truly appreciate you for who you are, not only want to have you as a friend, but as a spouse. Who does not love a good thing? Everyone wants someone who would genuinely love them and will be there for them. The moment you fit into this narrative, then you are on your way to winning most people's hearts, and your spouse might just be one of them. When you eventually get to be in a relationship with these God-ordained spouses, it is also left for you to keep that relationship and eventual marriage strong and happy, and this is where most people fail. Getting to be in love with someone is not as hard as it seems. The first few days seem so happy and joyous because you and your spouse are relatively new to one another. You act polite around each other, respect boundaries and privacy, and do all that it takes to make your spouse happy. You are always on your best behavior with one another, but as soon as you get married or start a relationship, the love and passion begins to fade with time. This is where it is critical to test the strength of the couple's resolve and commitment for one another. A marriage that is not based on a strong foundation of God and a true commitment would not be able to stand the test of time. The little things that you do or do not do goes a long way in determining how long and strong your relationship will last. Everybody wants a committed partner. A committed partner is a person who does everything in his or her power to make his or relationship work. They put the need of the relationship and marriage before theirs. They are responsible for their partner and would show up for them wherever and whenever they are needed. The more committed you are to the relationship, the more your spouse leans more and more on you. This is because you have become a pillar of moral support, spiritual encouragement, and emotional strength that they need in their time of trouble, distress, and pain. When you're committed to your partner, you stand by them in times of trouble, and you both share the thrill of joy and the pains of sorrow. You give up your whole being and energy to make your spouse and family happy. All this will make that spouse never stop thinking about you. This is why so many people find it hard to get to move on and remarry when their spouse is dead. This is because they have become so emotionally attached to them and that no one can compare to their dead partner in their eyes. This does not mean that you have to be perfect in every way. There are going to be times when everything seems rough and you find it hard to please your spouse. There are going to be fights and arguments, but because of the strong commitment you share with your spouse, you are both willing to forgo and settle whatever dispute that you have with them. This is why it is important to be a man or woman who is committed, and your spouse will never forget you. One aspect of commitment that needs to be emphasized is communication. The ability to communicate with your spouse goes a long way in helping that relationship stand firm. This is because you and your partner are open to discussing whatever might be bothering you in that relationship or marriage. It means you have no secrets or scores to settle, and this makes the relationship a happy and peaceful one. Another attribute that makes your spouse never stop thinking about you is your sense of responsibility and care. The more caring and responsible you are, the higher the chance of staying strong in your relationship or marriage. When you have a high sense of responsibility, then you become someone your spouse cannot do without. The love and care and affection you show to your spouse goes a long way in making them never forget you. You become a vital part of their life, and a day without you in their sight becomes miserable for them. Of course, there are going to be times you have to give each other a break. This means you have to respect boundaries and do not try to choke them up. This is one thing your spouse would appreciate you for. Everyone needs that quality time to spend alone for personal growth and development. When you give your spouse that space and time to focus on their own needs, they will appreciate you more. Learning to give out little gifts, taking and surprising them with occasional dinner dates are things you can do that show the love you have for them, and it goes a long way in strengthening the bond in that relationship. These seemingly little acts go a long way in determining the strength of the relationship, and because of this, your spouse would always think about you. When you encourage your spouse to become a better person than when they first met you, you are always constantly urging them and supporting them spiritually, financially, and emotionally in the pursuit of their aspirations and goals. Then you are someone they will cherish forever because you help bring out the best in them. This makes your spouse want to lean on you and will never take your words or advice and encouragement for granted. They know when they are in a fix or they are in trouble, they can run to you knowing full well that you will be a pillar of support in whatever trials and pains they are passing through. You would also be the first person they want to break the good news to when they have one. Your spouse would want to be with you the moment they leave their workspace because you provide them with an aura of peace and tranquility. They have that trust in you. They trust you so much because you have earned their trust and are willing to go the extra mile for you to know fully well that you would do the same if you were in their shoes. They know your words and actions tally, and they can vouch for you anywhere and anytime because they have that confidence in you. These are all attributes that will make your spouse never stop thinking about you. The same goes for those who are yet to be married. When you portray attributes such as commitment, responsibility, trust, love, care, and affection, then you become someone that a person thinks of all the time to be their spouse. In conclusion, it is important to have the Spirit of God, which is the Holy Spirit, to exhibit all these character traits mentioned above. Without the power of the Holy Spirit, it becomes impossible to have these qualities. It is only through the power of His that you can have these qualities, so be wise and trust in God all the time. Remember that God is your source, and without Him, you are nothing. Remember also that no one is indispensable. Thousands like you have the right qualities and character or gifts just like you. So stay humble and God will lead.